You're watching the SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look into the Schreiner University men's and women's golf program. The Mountaineers will be led heading into the season once again by head coach Bill Woodley, along with senior Jason Lopez on the men's side and junior Reygan Rodriguez on the women's side. Of course, the Mountaineers coming off a second-place finish in the SCAC Championships a season ago on the men's side, a third-place finish on the women's. Coach Jason Reygan, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Coach, heading into your second season as the head coach of these two programs, as you took inventory of last season, what did you learn and how excited are you to get into the new season, into a new spring?
Well, I just seeing what we had coming back, and I just knew that'd be pretty good. I actually told them all, I said, not putting any pressure on you, but, I anticipate, contending about everything we play in. And of course, the end of the season, when conference is the one that everybody remembers. So, now we're just trying to figure out where we are, with different parts of our game and that kind of stuff, and getting better every day. But I'm anticipating nobody's going to be more prepared by the time we get to conference than we are.
Jason, for you as a senior, it's an interesting team makeup, a big group of seniors, 4 in total in your class, but then a lot of underclassmen, 3 freshmen and a sophomore. So outside of your class, a young group, what is sort of your mindset? How have you sort of shouldered that leadership role as one of the seniors on this team?
Probably when we would go to golf courses and the practice round before, just kind of showing what may be the best play, maybe not the safest or the most aggressive play, but the best play for their game, our game, how we want to handle the course as a team, and then just stuff like that hopefully trying to make them not late to stuff.
That's a good way to put it. You did good. Yeah.
Reygan, for you as an upperclassman now in your junior season, have you seen your role change at all? Obviously, not necessarily on the course, but just in terms of being one of the upperclassmen leaders, understanding what's expected to be a part of this women's golf program.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Our freshmen sometimes, they don't exactly have the best course management and confidence on the golf course. So when we go play practice rounds, course management is one of the big things for them, and sometimes you can tell they don't exactly play with confidence because they're scared of the end result, when we really try to teach them to just take it shot by shot and not be so concerned with how it ends up, and just to really play team golf and realize that it's not really all on you all the time. So I think they really just need to find confidence in their game.
Coach, I talked a little bit about some of these freshmen coming in, 3 on the men's side, 2 on the women's side. Talk about your recruiting classes for these two programs, and what have you seen from them that has you excited looking ahead to the season?
I just anticipate them being good. We don't recruit anybody unless we think they're going to be good. It's freshmen are always, kind of interesting because, they're freshmen, and usually golfers kind of start to get things figured out by the second semester of their sophomore year. But we got some good players, and I think they're proving that good athletes can overcome coaching.
Jason, for you, you're coming off an outstanding junior season in which you earned all conference honors, falling in a playoff just shy of earning medalist honors at the SCAC tournament a season ago. An outstanding year for you. You had a nice fall, earned a Player of the Week honor this past fall as well. What have you been working on, though, in your game, heading into this season to continue and improve individually out there on the course for the Mountaineers?
Just realizing that I am a decent golfer and just that confidence I need, because sometimes I do lose that on the course, and then trying to work on my wedge game because it's not great right now. So,
Reygan, similar for you. You earned a Player of the Week honor in the fall, so you're coming off a very productive fall season. As you look ahead into this spring portion of the year, what have you worked on individually in your golf game heading into the season?
Confidence has really been a lot of it. Sometimes I get in my own head about things and I make the game way more complicated than it really is. So the past 2 tournaments that I played in last semester, I really focus on having confidence and believing in myself and believing that I'm there for a reason and I'm just as good as any other of the golfers out there. So I really had a lot of confidence and I played really well. I was really proud of myself for how I played, and as of now, it's really working on the short game because I realized that I lose a lot of strokes on the putting green. So if I can just figure that out, then I'll save some strokes out there.
Coach, one of the things I find very interesting, especially when it comes to golf coaches, is sort of how you deal as the leader of these two teams with sort of the mental aspect of golf. Obviously, you can work on your stroke, your putting, a number of different things mechanically, but in golf, mental is a huge aspect of the game. How do you address that with your two teams and make sure that they're in the best mental state as they possibly can when they put a peg in the ground each round?
Well, golf is so much different because it's, single warrior combat. I mean, there's no timeouts. And obviously you can't be with all 5 players every minute, every shot. But just as a routine matter of course, you got to be really honest with them. But at the same time, you got to remember that you got to be positive. I've told these folks, I'll never lie to them. If I think they're good, I'll tell them they're good. If I don't think they're really hot stuff, I'll say, hey, you got to work on some things. But golfers have got to be confident. I mean, inwardly, really almost cocky, because hey, there's a lot of folks out there that want to beat you. But over the years, I mean, I've been described as positive and demanding, which is, I think that's fair. I expect a lot, but they are good. They if you can get them to believe in themselves, then you've got a big part of the battle won.
Jason, as you kind of look at your team, how would you describe sort of the philosophy of this men's program? Is this a group that you feel as a collective whole is going for it on the second shots on the par 5s, or is this a team maybe that tries to play a little bit more conservative and make pars and get birdies where they come? How would you sort of describe this group?
We're kind of split, as like 3-2, where 3 of us are going for almost everything, and then 2 tend to stay back a little bit, but that just comes from length off the tee and whatnot. But we're a aggressive group when we can be, because we have the confidence builders and all that. So.
Reygan, for you, Coach talked about sort of that individual, competitiveness and fire. Golf, very unique and interesting, where it has that individual aspect, but there's very much a team component as well. How do you gain momentum as a group out there on the course when, different from a team sport, like Coach said, there are no timeouts. You can't, come in with the rest of your teammates and kind of rally around things. So how as a team do you guys try and find momentum out there on the course?
We really think in the aspect of team golf, whereas, you asked Jason about going forward or being more conservative on the tee, and for us, we think about our own game as an individual, and if we really feel super confident, then we'll go ahead and go for second shot on the par 5. But we also think about team aspect, where if this goes wrong, how many strokes did I just add for my team? So we kind of think about the end game a little bit, but at the same time, you just go for what you are confident in.
Coach, when you look at this season as a whole, different from other team sports where there isn't necessarily a win-loss record. And as you mentioned, everybody kind of points to that end of the season SCAC tournament and the results from there as that's kind of being what they remembered. With that being said, when you plan out this season, are there individual sort of marks and goals that you try and kind of gradually ramp up to and hope that you're playing your best golf when it comes to the end of the season? How do you kind of approach that as the head coach?
Oh, yeah, no question about it, because I wouldn't want us to be playing our absolute best right now, and you can't really pick to be 100% at any one time, but if you've got like a weakness in your game, I would want you to work on that on the golf course rather than trying to play around it, because when the end of the season comes around, seriously it's about, it's all situational, what you can do, what you can't do. The biggest thing is they've got to know what they can do, and they got to know what is maybe less than that. I mean, you look at a shot, and if it's a 50-50, maybe pull it off. Hey, do it right now. Now, if you're at the conference tournament, it's a 50-50, maybe pull it off, and you're looking at a lake, I would probably suggest maybe not try to do that one unless it was about 80-20 in your favor. So that's kind of what you look at. But you got to know what you can do, and as Jason said, everybody's different. I mean, there's some shots I would insist he pull off or try to pull off, and there's some shots that I might not tell the other player to do that same thing. It's all different. Everybody's got to know their own game.
Finally, Jason and Reygan, to wrap things up with the two of you, as you look ahead to this 2019 season and have had discussions with your teammates, what are some of the goals that the two of you have for both of your teams heading into this season?
Well, for us, for me, every year as a team, we've gotten second place at conference. So this year we're trying to get that first win there. It's my last year, so hopefully we can do that. I mean, that's our only goal right now. Big goal.
And on the girls' side, I feel like our goal is realizing the potential that we have to be there. Last year, after the first round, we were tied for first, and third was one stroke back. And I feel like we need to work on our mentality going into the second day and realizing that there's nothing different from the second day than the first. You have to go out there and play it just like you did yesterday and not think about what the other girl in your group is shooting or, oh, she just got a birdie. You really have to focus on your game and play to your strengths.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, for the fans, family, friends that all come out and support both of these teams this season, what are a couple of characteristics or identities that you really hope these teams sort of embody and embrace and take on, that, you know, regardless of the end score, that, you know, people that support this team will be able to count on these players when they're out there on the course this spring?
Well, that's kind of the whole deal. I mean, sure, you try your best on every single shot, but if it's not fun, you're not going the right direction. I mean, and again, with these folks, hey, aggressive as you possibly can, but know your own game. But when people look at these folks, I want them to, you know, not be able to know how they're doing, because I want them to carry themselves well, whether they're 3 under or 3 over. And that's something that they need to, you know, kind of carry the rest of their lives too. It's just, you know, they're just a good bunch of folks, but they have a chance to win, and that's kind of exciting thing about that coming down to the end.
Schreiner University men's and women's golf programs. The Mountaineers again will head into the season under the head coach leadership of Bill Woodley, along with leadership from senior Jason Lopez on the men's side and junior Reygan Rodriguez on the women's side. Coach Jason, Reygan, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.